Welcome back to the Marquee Media Studio with Mark Haney, igniting the entrepreneurial revolution with the HaneyBiz Project.
Welcome back to HaneyBiz Project, brought to you courtesy of Hub International and Legion ABS. I'm Mark Haney, and I'm here with John Simpson, the co-founder and CEO of Patra Corporation. I called it Patra. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. And I mispronounced your name. How do you mispronounce Simpson? My gosh. But I want to thank you for joining me today, John.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
Great to have you here. I want to learn about you personally, but I also want to know about your entrepreneurial career. Where should we start off? Who is John Simpson?
You know, I was thinking about that this morning. I was taking my 2-hour walk. It's kind of my mental time that I get to think. And, you know, there's experiences in your life that really define who you are as a person. And I think there's probably two main experiences that happened in my career that's defined my life. First off, I started off with an internship for K Jewelers, of all places. When I was 17 years old. Got to go into the corporate headquarters, and CEO sends me down to the treasurer's office, and he throws me a manual of D-Base. Do you remember that back in the day?
Yeah.
D-Base, of all things. PCs were just on the market, and he says, write me a check reconciliation program. I'm 17 years old. I went,
whoa.
Well, first off, write a program. What's check reconciliation?
Yeah.
And he goes, just go to my cash controller. She'll explain it to you, and you work on it for the next 6 weeks. And I did that. I got it done, and the accountant people came up to me and said, do you want a job here afterwards? For the next 7 years, I worked for K Jewelers, going through every department of their company, learning every division, inventory, sales, security, credit, HR, payroll, you name it. I was there taking programs off the mainframe onto the PCs.
Okay.
So I got to really learn how a business runs from the start, because it's not about what you want to do, what industry you want to be in. It's how to run a business.
Well, luckily
completely.
you didn't get stuck in the accounting department,
That's
right? You got to get out and see what was
I
happening.
got to go to sales meetings and meet district managers and go to parties. It was quite an experience. They gave me a computer through college. And I worked there after college. I got to go work with the CEO selling $100 million junk bonds in New York and Boston. Relocating their corporate headquarters. I was just doing all kinds of things. So that was the first experience. And the second experience was when I started Cyberbills later on. You saw that in my career. We were 2 weeks away from filing to go public. .com crash happened. But we had just raised $30 million. No problem. We'll just keep going along. A year later, we're running out of money fast. And, there's a time when you really get your character checked and your integrity checked. And I was called in, I won't say who it was, by a national bank, and they basically said, we want you to declare bankruptcy. We'll keep you in as a CEO, and we'll buy your company.
Wow.
And that would have screwed all the investors, employees, vendors, and I didn't even hesitate. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. We ended up selling the company a little while longer to Metavante, a company out of the Midwest, big banking company. And it really taught me who I was and the kind of person I am, about how much I care about my employees.
Yeah, and nobody can predict what happened. I felt it in 2008, what you felt in the early 2000s. Nobody can predict that.
That's
As
right.
entrepreneurs,
It was going crazy. We had just raised $30 million. Wow. It was, I was living the dream right then.
So that toughened you up, obviously.
That's right.
You had a successful exit, which is not always easy. Most people haven't had either one of those two types of experiences, where you're in something like K Jewelers at the base of the company, and then to take a company all the way to almost going public. Most people have never done that kind of stuff before. But now, how has that transitioned your career? Now you've got something in Patra Corporation that is going gangbusters.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it was interesting you were asking, and I'm going to jump right to it. Is it better to shout from the rooftops or go the humble route? And obviously, when we started Cyberbills, we were shouting from the rooftops. We were raising all the money. We had the VCs, GE Capital, and we were out there competing and doing all the marketing, and we got our competition, and it's buying advertising space and doing the ads and spending $2 million a month was our burn. That was shouting from the rooftops. And I don't think that was the best approach.
Okay.
Because it didn't really teach our people that what we were doing was the right thing. We were just out there saying we were doing something. We hadn't even really built this company yet, but we were saying we were greater than we really were at that point. So we didn't have a foundation to fall back on at that point in time. So when I got into this space, and I fell into this space, I didn't know anything about insurance. I still don't know anything about insurance, but I've learned a lot about the insurance industry. And when we got in, I just basically stayed under the radar. We started with 4 people over in India and myself here in the U.S. doing a little bit of work for one insurance company. And then we got a second, and then we got a third. And I wasn't out there bragging about it. I was just learning and building the infrastructure and the chassis, if you will, for what I knew was going to come down the line, and just take the patience. And I think it depends on the industry you're with, the types of investors you're dealing with, about that approach that you need to take. In the insurance industry, it's about stability. And we really needed to make certain we showed them that we were a stable company. And we had to do that through gaining experience and training people in India and the U.S. We now have 2,500 employees in India. We've got 230 people working out of their home around the U.S., 37 states, all different kinds of communities. And we did that through just staying under the radar, getting the best customers, the biggest insurance companies to believe in us. And now we're coming out from the underneath and starting to shout about how great we are as a company, because we can support it.
Yeah.
And if anybody that comes to us, we now have the scalability to really grow fast.
Well, what do you do for insurance companies that's so helpful that you want to shout from the rooftops about?
Well, the industry is going through a lot of change right now. Just like financial services brought in fintech. I don't know if you've heard that. Now they're talking about insurtech in the industry right now. And so the insurance industry is going through a lot of changes. But on top of it, people are leaving the industry in droves, not because they want to, but because they're retiring out and new people aren't coming in.
Young people aren't dreaming about going and being in insurance.
No, it's not really a big topic. They all want to be in social media, and so the insurance, and with technology changing, so people are leaving, and yet we've provided a nice solution for them to find resources, automation, technology, people around the globe to solve their problems. And like I said, we've built that chassis and that system, and we have a recruiting engine, and we've provided a whole new way for people that are in the insurance industry to have a better work-life balance. So they get to work from their homes anywhere they are in the country or the world, for that matter, providing services to some of the biggest insurance companies out there. So that's number one. And number two, we're working on developing a whole new way to train a new generation of people interested in the insurance industry. We're creating local academies, training academies outside military bases around the country, so we can train spouses on the insurance industry. And then when they get relocated with their spouse in the military, wherever they go, they can take that job with them and work from their homes. It's really an amazing story.
Well, let's dive into the outsourcing piece. I don't know if that's the best way to frame your business, but you have these 2,500 employees and businesses growing, and you've got these human systems that go in and help the insurance company.
Sure.
Is that right?
Yes.
It's an outsourced kind of product.
It's outsourced, but it's about their process. It's not just, hey, I'm going to go do this task all the time. It's the process from when the lead comes into the insurance company. We help them place the business with the proper carrier, because we have licensed insurance people, all the way through servicing, doing the renewal. So all the activities throughout the whole process, we have people there and technology to help them do it faster, better, and cheaper than the way they were doing it.
Yeah. So what led to the support for the military and the spouses and the people that providing jobs for them?
I've always had a soft heart in the military. My father was in the military, served in the Navy, then was in the Navy department. So we didn't relocate around the country, but I grew up as a military family, so to speak. Always had a soft spot for that. And so I was looking at the wounded warriors, veterans, trying to help them get into this industry, thinking, what a great job. They can work from homes. That we're not quite there yet, because we need a little bit larger stability base. And my HR guy said, what about the spouses of the military? And I just went, that's it. Perfect solution. So we started with in Fallon, Nevada, where Top Gun is right now. We've got an office there. We've just opened an office in Clarksville, Tennessee. And we're doing that, and we're looking at other bases now across the country where to start that. So it's a way to help the military, but it's also a way to regenerate a whole new generation of insurance professionals.
You bet. Well, what about the parent? My son was in the Marines. Do you ever help out the parents of the military? You ever do anything for us?
Well, that's right. Well, actually, believe it or not, we did start a charity 2 years ago called Patra Proud, and that's focused more towards the children of the active military. So because we hear about, again, the veterans and the wounded, and that's all great. We really want to support that. But the kids are also left out there with working for families that just don't make a lot of money. So how can we help them? So that we're really focusing on that as well. So we believe in, employees and our customers, communities, and the industry as our kind of four pillars
Incredible generosity. I love that you're giving back to a cause that's so important to me as well. Just thinking about how to help Sacramento's small business community, right? That's what this show is about, sharing the stories. You've shared a real success story here. What do you have 2,500 employees. Most of us dream about having a business with 2,500 team members. Right. That's incredible. Advice to us as we think about how to grow that business and how to deal in that world of 2,500 employees.
It's about the people. I've heard this every entrepreneur that sits down with you, and Lori was even saying it's about the people that you surround yourself with. And I believe that integrity and honesty are number one. And I know Uber's using this phrase now, do the right thing, but I've been saying that to my people for years, is do the right thing. And if you do that, it'll come around. It's easy to take the shortcut path and do the wrong thing and get rich fast, but that comes back to haunt you. And I've seen it over and over again. Do the right thing by your vendors. Do the right thing by your employees. And you'll have that trust and that loyalty from them for years. I have employees that come back to me that used to work with me at previous companies and come back, leave multi-billion-dollar companies to come work for me because they know that I'm going to treat them fair always and forever.
Sometimes it's so simple. Just do the right thing. What goes around comes around. Thank you for, I think, helping us understand this better. And I think you're doing the right thing for sure with the military and helping us small business guys as well, John. So thank you for coming on the show today and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you, Mark.
You bet. When we return, I will be joined by Tim Anderson, the co-founder and president of Anderson's Dry Cleaning Delivery. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com, courtesy of Chicago Fire and Apex Appraisal Services. This is the HaneyBiz Project.